Scott Lesperance. Oh my God, I blew it.
It's okay.
Scott Lesperance. Thank you so much for joining the UniWeb interview show with your host, Matt Whiteside. How are you doing today, man?
I'm good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. You are the author of The Heart Collectors.
Yes.
Great. So this book has a very eerie feel and look to it. Is that what you were going for?
Absolutely. Always.
Always. Okay,
Always.
so that's what you're always going for.
Oh, yeah.
What's the book about?
I love explaining it to people because they're always interested in it. It's about detectives in upstate New York who are investigating bizarre murders, and they think it's a serial killer, but they find out that it's a cult. But it's not your typical cult. It's a group of kids who were friends in high school, and they had the cult in high school, and so they continue this. And I don't want to give too much away, but it involves a church and a monster.
Like a real life monster, not like a Scooby-Doo style monster?
A real live monster. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. So this idea now, okay. So it's definitely a creepy idea. Anytime you talk about cults, it definitely brings the eerie vibe. Where did this idea originate from for you?
Partially inspired by the movie Seven.
Ooh, wow.
But
That's an amazing movie right there.
But there's also other ideas, other movies like Mimic and Relic.
Yeah.
The creature features like Pumpkinhead, Cellar Dweller, and all that.
So you're definitely into horror.
Yes.
What have you always written? Is this your first novel?
No. The first one was a collection of short stories dedicated to H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh, wow.
And it was called Lovecraft's Dreams. And that was my first one.
Okay. So, how long have you been writing for?
I first started when I was 14, and then I didn't get serious about it until I was about 32.
Yeah.
So, and now here I am, almost 10 years later, and I'm still going.
Was there something that happened when you at 32 or before 32 that you decided it's time to get serious about writing?
No, I don't know what happened.
You just started putting pen to paper?
Yeah. Nope. And my second book was Halloween Boy, which is, I guess you could say, paranormal.
Yeah.
And so there's a long story about that. I won't get into it now, but yeah. I liked it, but a long story. Anyway.
You liked it, but other people didn't?
No, I wanted to revise it, and it was on my old hard drive, which got a virus, and so I can't do anything with it. It's on Amazon, but I can't get it back. So
that's weird. You can't like re-download the book. I don't think there's that feature.
I could. I don't have Kindle, so.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
So how long has The Heart Collectors been out?
I want to say 3 years now.
3 years. And you said it follows the journey of a group of kids of high school?
Right. It's high school kids who are in a cult, and there's a book in sacred stones involved. And I don't want to give too much away, but it was inspired by other authors, obviously Lovecraft, Poe, King, Barker. So my favorite part was writing the dream sequences.
Yeah.
Detective Schufelt has these vivid nightmares about the group, and they are causing the nightmares. They have the power to do that.
The group has the power to cause nightmares.
Right.
So, wow. So there's like an element of dark magic going on with this cult.
Absolutely.
It's creepy. It's terrifying. It scares me. I I've read some horror. I'm so squeamish when it comes to horror, man. Like I have a very delicate mind. I'm not there, but I think the genres. There are people who are like so great at writing horror and digesting horror. It amazes me. Are you somebody who are you afraid of things? No, or are you like somebody who just has no fears? Is that why you write about it?
I have no fears except one, and it
Okay.
might sound corny, but to me it's serious. Uh, I don't like diseases.
Yeah, I agree.
Like if someone is sick with the flu or something, I'm like,
Okay.
get away.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're kind of a germaphobe a bit.
Kind of.
Yeah. It amazes me like when people say they have no fears because and when you write stuff like that, do you have to get yourself into a mindset
Right.
or are you constantly you're not constantly walking around with like terrifying thoughts, are you?
No, no.
Okay.
I try to avoid people like that. No, I tell people, look, I'm a writer,
Yeah.
but you don't walk around with weird thoughts all the time. No.
Right.
But I'm constantly thinking of story ideas. And so
Right.
I jot it down on paper and I go home and research and like, oh, okay, yeah, let's do this.
Right. Well, because like Stephen King, he's always writing horror, the master of horror. But if you hear him in real life, if you've ever like seen him talk, he's like this really
Right.
funny, gregarious guy,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
which blows my mind. It's amazing going from there to there.
Right. A lot of writers, the ones I've met are, they're friendly. They're, I guess you could say, down to earth. But yeah, they have, I guess you could say, weird thoughts, but that's what makes them writers.
That's right. No, definitely, we have to have some sort of out there thought. I think that is what makes us different. Um, I was talking to somebody else, and they said they had to go off sometimes while they were working and scream about slaughtering whole villages. Of course, they were talking about writing about slaughtering villages, but it's like, you know, you have to kill your darlings and stuff
Yes. Yeah.
in your books.
You have to, yeah, they're fictional characters, so do it.
Yeah,
The best compliment anyone ever gave me about writing was, uh, you love to write and it shows. I was like,
yeah,
wow, cool. And of course, you get criticism for writing. One
absolutely.
person that read the book said, "You killed off my favorite character." I'm like, sorry, but we all do it. George
Yeah,
Martin is a specialty. That's his specialty.
right.
So yeah,
And
you
for
have to
you,
kill off characters.
when you do have to kill off characters, is it something you plan out, or is it something that you feel in the story?
It's something that you feel along the way in the story.
Yeah.
Um, but I plan almost everything else out.
So
And
you're an outliner when you
yeah,
write.
yeah. And I tell people it's like building a house. You
Hmm.
got to have the main idea first, and then everything else comes after.
Right.
But I'm kind of weird, I guess. I think of a title and then I build on that.
Yeah.
I do.
So
So,
the Heart Collectors came to you as a title, and then you worked the story out of the Heart Collectors.
well, the idea came from Seven.
Hmm.
So, and then the title
Right.
came next.
Okay.
So I've seen that movie maybe too many times.
It's an amazing movie.
It is great.
It's one of, I guess I would say it's probably one of my favorite. I don't want to classify it as horror because it is in a
No,
way, but
it's
it's like,
crime drama.
yeah, psychological crime drama.
Yeah,
Right. So you would classify your writing in that same kind of sense?
this story,
Psychologically
yeah,
mind,
it's psychological, but it's also a creature feature.
right?
So
So with this, I know you published it through Amazon Kindle, correct?
yes,
When you've been writing the past, I guess 10 years, you said, have you always gone the independently published route, or have you looked into going traditionally published as well?
indie.
Indie all the way?
Oh yeah.
What are your thoughts on indie publishing?
Uh, I highly recommend it. There just seems to be more, creative control. I
Oh,
don't want to give anyone else that control. This is my baby, and I'm going to raise it.
yeah.
I went through a Vermont press to get hard copies of the book, and it's like it was a special package, and they want $8 per copy, which is reasonable. And so I
Mhm.
had I think 6 made up, and I sold some of them at a local bookstore, and I recommend that to writers.
Selling the books at the bookstore.
Yeah, and there's different ways to get your name out. Twitter, obviously, Facebook. If you're going to conventions, bring along business cards. So,
Yeah. I was going to ask you that too in terms of marketing. What have you found most successful in getting your book out there?
just posting links on social media, links
Yeah.
to Kindle.
Yeah.
So,
Directing as many people to the actual product as possible. Did you
yep.
ever do any like free giveaways or anything like that to get people or like ARC readers when before the book came out?
Not
No.
really. Kind of. I posted excerpts from the books to give
Mhm.
people a feel of what it's about.
Yeah.
So I try to not give too much away, but enough. Like, let's say a little bit of maybe 6 chapters.
Yeah. Okay. What would you say the most difficult process is for you when writing or during the whole writing process?
I tell people all the time, writing is the easy part,
Yeah.
marketing is the hard part.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like climbing a mountain with one arm.
Yeah.
It really is.
It is.
You can't get your name out there, it seems, unless you have connections within the industry.
Mm.
So
Yeah, and building those connections takes time.
it does.
It's like how long are you willing to put in for one book? And I know there's a lot of people out there that they'll write like 10 to 15 books before they publish the first one just so they have that so they can keep dropping book after book after book. Are you currently working on more titles?
I am. Right now, there's 2 works in progress. Uh, One of them is a story about Hollywood. It's
Okay.
horror, but there's also some dark humor involved,
Good.
and it's poking fun at Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's about a secret club. This takes place during the 80s and 90s, and people want into the club, but they can't get in. They end up dying, and there is a reason for that. Again, don't want to give too much away of that. And the other one is sci-fi. My first
Mhm.
time trying sci-fi, which is extremely hard.
Yeah.
I'm not used to it, but I'm gonna give it a shot. And it's about the scientist who creates new technology,
Hmm.
and another scientist comes along and steals it. There's a third character. He steals it and sells it on a black market, and all hell breaks loose.
Okay.
And he's a bounty hunter, and he wants to kill both of these scientists.
Oh boy.
And he was hired by a politician to kill them.
Uh-huh.
And so that story, the main themes are mythology and religion and technology.
So when you're switching genre like that, I know it can be difficult if you've written in one genre for a long time. Is there first with the horror genre and talking about the heart collectors, was there a lot of research that went into cults and like how things are developed and go on in those sects? And then with the sci-fi, did you do have to do a lot of research into the scientific um, aspect you're actually writing about?
The first one, yes. I mean, I already knew about cults, the whole craze during the 80s, and
Hmm.
backmasking and all that. I did research into mythology from around the world because that's a part of it.
Yeah.
Once you learn about the monster, it all connects. The monster is hiding somewhere.
Okay.
As for the sci-fi, not really, because The only thing that comes close is the idea of film strip.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. There's nothing comparable.
A film strip, just like
Film
what
strip.
the stuff they used to use instead of before digital.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
And so, and the idea for the sci-fi came out of where does the inspiration come for you? Do you just sit down? Because there's some people who sit down in front of the computer, get inspiration. They'll go on walks, they'll meditate, do all these different things. Like, where does this inspiration come for you?
some of my ideas come from movies
Yeah.
or comic books. So for this one, let's just say if you're a fan of Dune and Dark City,
Okay.
I think you might like it.
Might enjoy this sci-fi. When are you planning on having these come out? Do you have a
Uh,
date in mind?
yeah, the first one about Hollywood, I want that to be done by October. So, and the next one probably not till next March.
Okay, so you got some timelines. Um, I always wonder this, and for me, I know writing is a very therapeutic, um, transformative process where there's always a question that gets answered for me. Were there questions in the story of the heart collectors that got answered for you in your own psyche and like things that you were trying to figure out?
Uh, no.
No.
Sometimes there's just no lesson to be learned.
Yeah.
It's just, this is what happens.
Well, what's the deal with the cult though? Like I always wonder why people like why are they so attracted to the idea of a cult? Like what brings them in? Because there's got to be some selling point, right? Like there's something going on that is
Yeah,
attractive.
it's mostly about wanting to belong to something,
Mm,
feeling like you have a purpose,
yeah.
and that is one of the things in that story. The other aspect is this detective wanted to start a new life
Yeah.
because he was working in New York City and he wanted to get away from that. And he does have scarring, so he wants a distraction from that old life, but he
Okay.
finds out that there's something worse than the average criminal,
This monster,
a literal monster,
literal monster.
and people that worship the monster.
Wow. I guess if you were gonna worship something, like some kind of crazy monster would be.
Well, think
If it like spare if it spares your life, might as well
yeah,
worship it.
to give you an idea of this creature, think of maybe Godzilla with
Okay.
tentacles.
Like a wow, that's weird. Yeah, but it's land based.
Yeah.
Yeah, land based. That
So
sounds scary.
people have said this is freaky.
Yeah. Well, when you can write a book and like literally make people afraid for what's coming, that's powerful because that's what we're doing as writers. We're trying to make people feel.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all about entertaining.
So when you're writing, are you trying to push yourself because you say you don't really have any fears? Are you trying to push yourself to a point where you're like, this scares the shit out of me a little bit? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're like
Yeah.
trying to figure out where's my fear level.
Yeah, it's always about pushing your limits.
Yeah.
And I always tell writers this, don't ever censor yourself.
Mm,
Don't do it. Push
right.
the limit.
Do you feel like you got close to that limit with this book or with any of your writing so far?
Uh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I can always push it further. And yeah. With the Hollywood story, I want it to be uh violent, but not like cheesy kind of gore. And I
Yeah.
want it to have the kind of humor that makes you belly laugh. It's like,
Hmm.
wow, this is messed up, but it's funny.
It's fucking funny. Yeah.
I want it to be kind of like a mix of Romero meets Tarantino.
Yeah. That's actually what I got in mind when you were talking about that the cheesy, not wanting it to be cheesy, like a classy kind of gore.
Yeah.
In a way, but it lends to funniness. Like, was that not Dead Before Dawn, but Till Dusk Till Dawn? That one.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of in that arena. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
very cool. That's interesting, man. You should write about diseases, like a scary plague that wipes. That would scare the shit out of you. I feel like.
well, yeah. I actually did kind of write a short story about that. Not
Yeah.
not a plague, but a man that had uh, boils and insects were coming out.
Oh,
So
did that creep you out
a little bit,
a little
yeah.
bit?
But bugs don't bother me, but disease does.
Disease is just like microscopic bugs, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. So do you have people that help you with the editing and beta readers and that kind of thing, or is this a one man show?
A few beta readers.
Okay.
Yeah, like my friend Jason.
Okay.
I tell him just be honest with me. What did you like and what didn't you like?
Yeah. Getting honest feedback can be so tough from the people close to us.
Right.
They all want to protect our. It's like no matter how crappy it is or how
Yeah.
good it is, they just want to be like, "It's great, keep going. It's great, keep going."
So
Have you?
huh?
I was gonna say, have you found that with is this guy you have that's as one of your beta readers? Is he pretty honest with you when it comes to feedback for your books?
Yes.
Yeah.
He told me the first one it's a bit inconsistent, and I'm like, okay, you know, I want people to tell me exactly what they liked and what I should have maybe taken out.
Yeah.
So it's just like, get that red pen out and start marking it. Because if you don't give honest feedback, the person isn't going to get better as a writer.
Right. And that's the thing, right? We just want to get better.
Yeah.
It's like once we get on this journey, once we get the courage to actually put pen to paper, it's like whatever it is, just show me how to get better because it gets addictive writing. It's like I
It does.
want to, yeah,
And it is a form of therapy.
yeah.
Like for
Is
me,
this
I think 99% of what's on TV is boring, so I make up my own story. The only show I watch, well, two of them is Walking Dead
yeah,
and Game of Thrones.
yeah,
That's it.
man. Game of Thrones season 9 starting on Sunday.
You know?
Can't wait for that. What? Let me ask you about Walking Dead because I was in love with The Walking Dead when it first came out, and now that it's a whole new cast of characters, and I couldn't like I just couldn't hang in there. Do you still like the show?
I do. This season was better than 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't a fan of Neat.
But I tell people the comics are, I think, better.
Yeah.
So, and if this was on HBO, they could get away with so much more.
Yeah. I think they did a great job with the show. In the meantime, and the first few seasons for me were like mind blowing television. Uh,
Yeah,
definitely a cool place to start. So do you write every day? Is it something that you constantly working on?
I have not written in about a month. The motivation isn't always there,
Yeah.
and for anyone that says they always feel it every day, um, that's great, but it's not common. I don't think.
No, it's not.
Um, there's downtime. You know, that's okay. I tell people don't beat yourself up over it. Take a
Right.
break.
Yeah.
Especially if you have family or someone to take care of. You're not always going to be in the mood to write.
Yeah. And I think just taking a step each day, if you do feel inspired in some way, if something does hit you, even if it's just a word or a phrase or something, writing that down, I think that still counts. It's like I have to be able to count those little things because if I don't, then I can beat myself up that, well, you didn't write a chapter today for your book or you didn't do this for your book. It's like if I'm still putting ideas on paper, then it's
Even
still
yeah,
building
even
towards.
even if you write something like 100 words, you
Mhm.
did something.
Yeah.
So, and typically I start writing about 7 p.m. and I might not get done until midnight,
Mm.
and that's mostly Friday through Sunday.
Yeah. So you have the day job keeping you busy, and then you do that through the weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah, I understand that, and it always amazes me that people full-time jobs writing multiple books. Like I like to sleep. Like I
yeah,
don't know. You got to get up early, stay up late. You got to find a way to write. And it's always so inspiring to see people who just, no matter what, will sit down to the chair and put words on paper day after day after day after day
yeah,
because loving or writing is such a passion for them.
yeah. My oldest brother is writing a major story, and he told me how many words he is planning, and I thought there's just no way someone's going to read that. He wants something like 500,000 words, and I'm like, wow, wow.
Yeah. And
So
he's going to publish it himself, like do the self-publish
I
route.
think so. Yeah. And I read probably 12 chapters,
Yeah.
and he is talented, and some of it made me laugh out loud.
Yeah.
So it's a fictionalized memoir.
Uh-huh.
So it's about a boy who thinks, well, there's something wrong with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like 500,000 words is incredible though. I mean, that's like a plus 1,000 page book.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
would love to see that. I would love to see that in an Amazon paperback. Can you imagine?
Oh, and he told me about, his design idea for the cover. I'm like, where do you get these ideas? It's complicated.
He should have a picture of a tiny book on the cover of his giant book.
It's
That
going to
would
be
be
Inception.
yeah, exactly. It's freaking amazing. Awesome, man. So, any kind of legacy you're looking to leave with your writing? Like, what do you want people to take away from your writing?
Uh, I just want people to say, wow, that was freaky and original.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, I'm never going to get the kind of fame that Poe or King has, but I am happy knowing that I'm contributing something.
hmm.
And hopefully, people talk about it long after I'm gone.
Is
So,
that something you want? Like, do you want that level of fame or success, or are you happy with where you're at right now and just scaring the crap out of people with your writing?
I would like a certain level of fame, you know, like if I
Yeah.
walk into a grocery store, it's like, hey, man, can I get your autograph?
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you, any writer that says they don't want that is lying.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. 100%.
And these people that say, oh, I just do it for the love. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Right. Because you
And
wouldn't
you
be
know what?
publishing if that was the case.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with wanting fame.
No. Well, it's just another form of validation like we were talking about. We want that tell us you think it's good or bad or whatever. Like just let us know
Right,
that we weren't just writing, we're not invisible. Like
right.
we're writing
Yeah,
something
yeah.
that makes
It's a
an impact.
it's about recognition for your hard work.
Right. Yep.
That's all.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
totally agree. Because, like you said, I mean, if we do say that we're just doing it for the love of it, why are any of us publishing our novels?
Yeah, it's like, why am I writing a book if no one is paying attention to it? And my
Mm.
analogy is, it's like cooking a full course meal and no one eats it.
Right.
Why would you do that?
Because I love food, man. I love food.
I love
I just want to cook it all.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Any one piece of advice you would give to somebody starting out writing? Something that maybe helped you in the beginning.
Just learn the craft, but have your own style.
Mhm.
That's it.
Learn the trade.
And of course, be stubborn and persistent. Because there's creativity and then there's persistence. You gotta like meld them.
Meld them together. Yeah, absolutely. You got to keep going for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you can get The Heart Collector by Scott Lesperance, correct? On Amazon. Oh, there you go. Beautiful.
Isn't
On
it?
Amazon.com, available now. Make sure you check it out. You can also, are you on social media, Scott?
I am. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Awesome. And I'll put links to all that in the description of the video below. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you,
Get back
Matt.
to, absolutely, man. Get back to writing some freaky, creepy stuff. I'm gonna check out. I'm gonna read part of The Heart Collector. I'm gonna read some of it right now when I get done.
Do it in the dark.
No.
Yes.
Okay. I'm way too terrified for that. I'll give it a go though, and I'll
Cool.
check it out. Scott, it was a pleasure talking to you, man. You have a
Thank
wonderful
you,
day.
Matt.
Okay, dear brother.